Hi Scorpio, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you found me. This is your March 2017 Astrology, Tarot, and Oracle card video scope forecast. I'm getting over a cold, y'all. Forgive me if I cough. I've got a drink to the side and I will take a drink if I need it. But my lungs are very sensitive because of that house fire. So whenever I get a cold, that cough just kind of lingers and lingers. I can't help it. Anyways, so the takeaway for this March, actually this spring, is the Venus retrograde. I did a video specifically on Venus retrograde for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. I will have an information bubble pop up at some point during this video, and that will be directing you to that playlist of videos. I suggest you check your sun, your moon, your rising sign, and your natal Venus sign for more in-depth information about the Venus retrograde and how it will be playing out for you in your world. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in this video on that because I spent about 40 minutes per sign on that other playlist. So go check that out. So Scorpio, why don't you set a spell so we can talk about your stars? On March 3rd or 4th, depending on where you live on the planet, and that's actually today right now, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, money, and resources, is going retrograde in Venus. This is your 6th house, Scorpio. The 6th house is ruled by the zodiac sign of Virgo, and it's the house of your work and health, or it's the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It's also your daily to-do list and your daily grind, the things that you do on a daily basis to take care of yourself and the things in your world to make your life easier and better, more efficient. So check out that Venus retrograde video for more information on that. Now on the 9th or 10th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we will have Mars, the planet of energy, impulse, and aggression, moving into Taurus. This is your 7th house, Scorpio. The 7th house is traditionally ruled by Libra. I have no idea why that flame is flickering like that. I don't have any fans on or anything in here. So, could be some serious aggressive energy in that 7th house, or a lot of action, possibly some sexual attraction maybe in that area, because Mars represents sexuality, the sexual act even sometimes. But anyways, 7th house ruled by Libra. It's the partnerships, relationships, and that you have, and how you identify who you are as a human being through those interactions with other individuals. Now, on March 11th or 12th, we will be experiencing a full moon in Virgo, and this will be in your 11th house. Now, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so this full moon could be bringing you some feelings of anxiety, worry, or judgment, possibly tied to communication issues. This is in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of the internet. It's the house that's ruled by Aquarius, and it's the house of your friends, your groups, your memberships, and associations. It's also your future wishes, goals, and dreams, like your bucket list. So there could be a lot of energy moving through that 11th house for you, Scorpio. Just understand that and know that this too shall pass. I'm a Scorpio rising, so it speaks pretty strongly to me because I do a lot of stuff on the internet like this right here. So we'll see how I'm feeling mid-month, right? On the 13th or 14th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, Mercury, the planet of thought, movement, and communication, is moving into Aries. This is the 6th house, and from here on out, there's going to be a lot of energy playing out in that 6th house, Scorpio. That is the house of Virgo. That is the house of your work and your health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It's also that daily grind, that daily to-do list, which you do every day to make your life better, more efficient. On the 20th or 21st of the month, we will be celebrating the spring equinox. It's the beginning of the astrological new year. It's when all of those Aries babies are starting to be born. It's when the sun moves into the zodiac sign of Aries. This is going to be in your 6th house again, that area of work and health that is ruled by Virgo on the astrological chart. And finally, at the end of the month, We will be experiencing a new moon in Aries on the 27th or 28th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet. And once again, this will be in the 6th house. Would be a perfect time for you to put forth energy or plant a seed in the area of this work and health or your daily to-do list, agenda, however you choose to see it. Me personally, I'm working towards trying to get my services website up and out because I've done this channel now for almost a year. It'll be a year old in May. And I've had many people approach me about private readings, and for one reason or another, it just hasn't worked out for me. So that's why I do so many of these, that's why I put so much energy into these general readings, I guess. Anyways. So that 6th house is going to experience a lot of energy focus through it, especially that Venus retrograde. One of the best ways that you can navigate the Venus retrograde motion is to ask yourself, do I love it? Do I love them? Or do I love this? Be honest with yourself when you ask that question, and then do the appropriate steps to rectify the situation. This is an opportunity for you to reassess your values and the things that you care about and the things that you spend your money on and how much money you are spending on them. The general rules of a Venus retrograde is to not do anything permanent when it comes to the beautification of yourself or your surroundings, because you've got the rose-colored glasses on and things will look a little different to you when we get fully clear of this retrograde season, and that would be in May. So understand that. Also understand that Taurus, the house that Mars is moving into, is ruled by Venus. That may be interesting as well. The 7th house is ruled by Libra, and Libra is also ruled by Venus. So a lot of focus on our money, love, relationships, and values. So Scorpio, just give yourself an opportunity to assess what's going on. For the majority of Scorpios out there, you've got an idea. You've probably already sensed what's going on for this retrograde if you're paying attention at all to any sort of videos like this. And many Scorpios do. Many Scorpios are very involved with this sort of practice, if you will, of astrology and metaphysics, tarot, oracle cards, and the like. But that's what's going on for you in the sky, Scorpio. So I've transitioned over to the tarot cards. I'm already shuffling my deck. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take the time to remind you that this is a general reading. If this reading does not resonate for you, that's more than fine. You have a little bit of each of the zodiac in you, believe it or not. You have a natal chart, has 12 houses on it. Each one of those houses is ruled by a zodiac sign. If you want to know about your personal birth chart, and there is only one, there will never be another one like it. It is only solely yours. It is the recipe that makes you who you are. Then you can get your birth certificate and Google the words free natal chart. Type in the information off of your birth certificate into the form on that page, whatever generator you use, and that would bring up a circular chart that looks kind of like a piece of pizza, and it has a bunch of different glyphs and symbols that you probably won't understand. There's a lot of different tutorials either online or on YouTube that will teach you how to read your natal chart. If you've gone through that and you still can't figure out where your sun, your moon, or your rising sign placements are, you can send me a screenshot of your natal chart, and I will get back to you as soon as possible with those placements or confirming. I've had people send me their birth chart and say, I think it's this, this, and this. Am I right? And I'll say, yeah, good on you. So, I mean, whatever, however you want to do it. If you don't know that information about yourself, I highly suggest you do it. You can use it as a tool for psychoanalysis on yourself. You can use it as a tool for timing. You could also use it as a tool for prediction. Pardon me. If you learn the omens and you know what the aspects mean. So, there's that. That's a free service that I provide, by the way. I have a lot of people that are concerned that we go back and forth in emails. Do I have to pay you anything for this? And no, it's not anything that I expect payment for. It's something I believe everyone should know about themselves. So you can watch videos like this and other readers on YouTube to help benefit you and your spiritual growth and give you the insight and empowering information that is given to us by the universe. So, with that being said, Scorpio, I've already shuffled the cards. I'm cutting the deck now for you. I hope you like the new perspective that I'm shooting from. Had a lot of people over the months complain that they weren't able to see the cards, and I'm doing the best that I can with what I got, so I hope you like it. The bottom card represents the underlying theme or the overarching energy, and the top three will represent clarity or the timing, past, present, future, however you want to view it. I'm also going to shuffle this Crystal Mandala Oracle deck. It is a brand new deck to me. It is from Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by an artist named Jane Marin, and I love this deck. I'm probably going to be using it a lot more in this channel because there's a lot of different types of information that comes forth. Elena Fairchild has taken the gemstone information and infused it with either ascended masters, archangels, or cultural deities, ancient cultural deities, and also paired them with vibratory messages of 333, 444, or 888. There's a lot of information that comes forth in this deck. And my Venus is natally placed in Gemini, so I find great value in giving you as much information as possible. And I hope you find value in what I give. This is a really big deck. It's like 72 cards, I think. And I have kindergarten-sized hands. So, the shuffling process can be a little bit much for me, but it's alright. I love this deck, and I'll get used to it. All of the other decks that I use have somewhere between 40 to maybe 50 cards. So, this one just feels a little bit more substantial in my hand. That is your Crystal Mandala card that I pulled for you, Scorpio. And finally, I am going to shuffle the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and this is also by Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by an artist named Autumn Sky Morrison. And this was actually the first Oracle deck that I purchased for myself in an online transaction. I have Uranus as my rising planet. It is the closest planet to my ascendant line in my birth chart. So that means I'm really weird, but it also means that the internet is a vehicle for me in many different ways. And I do get messages just by looking at things on the internet. And this deck was definitely screaming at me, I need to be in your home like now. So I fell in love with it instantaneously. Uranus is the planet that rules the rebels, so I'm very rebellious. I have a very rebellious streak in me, and you kind of have to be a rebel to do stuff like this. But yeah, I love this deck. Many of you have reached out and told me that you love it. Some of you have actually gone out and purchased it. I'm seeing readers use it on YouTube as well. It just makes my heart so happy because this is such a gorgeous deck, and it can really bring forth a lot of beautiful messages to help round out the readings. And I've always loved being able to share the Sacred Rebels with you. So, Scorpio, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button. I'm going to flip these cards over and do the tarot math, and I'll be right back with your story. Hang tight, y'all. I'll be right back. Hey, Scorpio, I'm back with your cards, so let's get started. The bottom card of your reading is the underlying theme, the overarching energy, 9 of Wands reversed. Okay, the 9 of Wands represents the 9th house on the astrological wheel. The 9th house is ruled by the sign of Sagittarius, and I like to think of the 9th house as your worldview expanded through study or travel. It is higher education, long-distance trips, adventures and questing. It is also the study of foreign languages, religion, philosophy, astrology, legal system matters, political system matters, and it also governs over foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. The wands represent fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We are experiencing that Venus retrograde in Aries, and we are experiencing Saturn transiting through Sagittarius, and that is your second house. So you've got two different fire sign energies going on, either Saturn in the second or Venus in the sixth. Saturn in the second, Saturn is the planet of limitation, structure, and containment. That second house is the house of Taurus, and that is the house of your money, earning ability, self-esteem, and values. It is the house of mind. Anything you point to, classify, identify as, or introduce as mind could follow or fall under that second house. When I think of Saturn, I think of the building code inspector. Whatever is in the house that he is inspecting, if it is not built to code, it will be knocked down and built back stronger for your highest good, even if it hurts like hell while it's happening. And I've talked at length about the Venus retrograde in a little bit of this video, but definitely the other videos. Let me hold it up right so y'all can see this. So this card, look at his head. He's got a bandage on his head. That definitely screams Aries to me, because Aries rules the head. And you could be dealing with someone who you know is a Sagittarius or possibly an Aries, maybe a Leo, just because of the fire sign stuff. But who could have been dealing with issues with the head. This could be mental illness. This could be issues with not just mental illness, but just issues with the head, migraines. There are some people that have been sadly diagnosed with cancer of the head and the brain. It could be dealing with aneurysms, high blood pressure, fainting, anything with like head illness, head injury, brain injury, that sort of thing. I also see this card as like a gathering yourself, catching your breath, looking to see how much space is between you and the obstacle you're trying to get away from, or the thing that you're running from. Not that this is necessarily a running away card, but this is looking back and making sure, checking your boundaries, checking the situation, making sure that you're okay, checking your own back, because it looks like maybe nobody else has your back. But in the reverse, it could be that you are looking at, in some way, reflecting upon either someone who is from a foreign place or a foreign land, or it could be just the reassessment of what all has gone on in that 9th house for you. It could have been very challenging for you in the 9th house. I know for me personally, this reading is going to get me a little emotional when we get to the oracle cards, but we'll worry about that when we get there. I am a Scorpio rising, so you know, it is what it is. We did have Saturn go through Scorpio from 2012 to 2014, I believe, was the duration. Saturn moved into Sagittarius in the very end of 2014, like November, December. And that's when I first started learning about astrology and this stuff. But this is the underlying theme of the card, or this reading anyways. Reflection, reassessment of 9th house issues. You aren't having any 9th house energy per se, but like I said, Saturn is going through that second house. You may be reflecting on your values in that Sagittarian house in one way or another. The first card in the top 3 for clarity is the 2 of Swords. The 2 speaks to that second house. That second house is ruled by Taurus, and that's the house of your money, earning ability, self-esteem. It is your possessions. It is the house of your values, the house of mind. If you could put a sticker on it or introduce someone to whatever as mine, it would probably qualify as a second house item. That includes your relationships and your children and things like that, because you say this is my, and fill in the blank, however it goes. The swords represent air sign energy. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You are having that full moon in the 11th house, and it's interesting that for some of y'all it will be on the 11th as well. I say interesting because of this up here. It looks like an 11. It also looks like the glyph of Gemini. Interesting with the moon right here, and it will be, you know, full moon territory. 11th house is the house of Aquarius. It's the house of the internet. It is the house of your friends, your groups, your memberships and associations, and the teams that you belong to. It's also your future wishes, goals, and dreams, your bucket list. This is very much a weighing out of a situation, and you are more in your mind than you are in your intuition. I would definitely indicate that Scorpio, because of who you are and what you are, and the energy that has been imbued to you and your sign, it would be wise for you to listen to your emotions. Pay attention to the symbology of this card. She is not looking at what is going on. She will have to rely on her emotions eventually. The swords are usually equated to mental faculties and thinking things through, very cerebral, gray matter type stuff. But look behind her. She's got blue all around her, and that for me is representative of the water signs. Water signs are very emotional, so I think that you would make a more sound decision if you paid attention to your emotions and your intuition. Don't let the emotions make the decision for you, but pay attention to it. It can help you through it. The full moon will be a situation where you may want to pay attention to what you're saying online, or you may be reflecting on things that have occurred online. I keep bringing up the online because Mercury rules Virgo, and this is a full moon in Virgo in the 11th house. In the 11th house, you could be dealing with anxiety about communication in your friends or your groups, but you could also be rethinking or reassessing how much you value your future wishes, goals, and dreams, or the things that you once valued. You may be reassessing how much you value them now. And I say that because of this next card. The King of Pentacles is in reverse. So this guy is a provider. He's stable. He's serious about his money. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about when payday is, because that's just another day that more money's getting put in the bank. He's not stretching he doesn't have to stretch his dollars. It doesn't mean that he's not frugal, but he doesn't have to make it stretch because he has enough and then some. The pentacles represent earth signs, and earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, but the pentacles also represent your resources. And the biggest resource that you have on hand is your health. Your health, without it, you can't do anything else. But the pentacles also represent money and the other things that you would expend on another living thing or situation that you care about deeply. That doesn't necessarily have to be a male, but it is masculine energy. So with Mars moving into Taurus in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and identifying who you are with others, that's also the house of counseling and open enemies. You may be dealing with someone who is presenting as a friend but asking for a loan. I would not do that right now, especially with the Venus in retrograde motion. Compassionately decline. If you've got the money, don't give it as a loan, give it as a gift, so you're not ruining friendships or relationships with an expectation of it coming back to you. That's just general good advice. If you've got it to give and you want to, by all means do it, but if you don't, then be aware. And I'm also concerned about the 7th house for you on the 3rd. I write my dates 3/whatever. So March 9th or March 10th. And I say that because this is the final card. This is a 7 of Swords. The 7 is that 7th house of partnerships and identifying who you are with others, but it's also that house of counseling and open enemies. You may be dealing with someone who is asking for money, and they're misrepresenting why they need it, or they're overstating why they need it. It could be that you find out that you've been being the victim of theft in some way, or you could find out that someone close to you has been taking stuff from you. This is really just a card about being sneaky and dishonest and lying, deception, sneaking away with all of the town's goods while everyone is focused on what's going on in this tent. And what's interesting, what's weird, is that this character is looking back at this Taurus. I'm concerned also about the red hat, because red, fire sign, hat, Aries. And we've also got this guy right here. So, it may be that he's destitute and sees that you may have more than you need, or more than he thinks that you need, and walking out with it. You may be discovering that a friend is an open enemy. They've been a frenemy or something to that effect. Once again, the swords are representative of air sign energy. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You are having that full moon in the house of Aquarius, and that's also the house of your friends. It could be online interactions as well. You may be needing to check out if you are a creator in any way, you may need to check online to see if someone is claiming their work as yours or to that effect. I've been dealing with that personally. There's been several channels that have popped up downloading my videos and editing out things and putting fake email addresses down. It's been a real headache, but the universe is wise and loving, as Nadia Shaw says, and I believe that this is a lesson that I'm supposed to be learning something from, so I'm doing my best to not lose my temper over it. But this reading isn't about me, but that's a situation that you maybe can identify with or find a nugget of wisdom through in your own right, so you don't have to go through it. You can learn from my mistakes. That's another reason why I tell a lot of the stories that I tell, so you can, one, feel a little bit more connected to me and know a little bit about me as an individual, but also to learn from my mistakes and to be able to, because I believe that these cards tell a story the way that they fall, and the numbers mean something, the colors mean something. It all has a message for you. So, I did the tarot math for you, Scorpio, and it ended up being a total of 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. And we're going back to that 9th house. This was the underlying theme or overarching energy, and this is the 9. This is a 9 of Wands. So this energy, this card, this feeling of looking back on the past, reflecting, checking your boundaries, checking to see if you have enough space between you and that thing you're trying to outrun or outmaneuver, could be dealing with someone who's had head issues, head injuries, or may just not be right in the head, and that's a reality that we do have to face in this day and age. Mental health is something that we all deal with, but it is not adequately funded or taken care of for those who actually need it, and it's used as a scapegoat for certain situations to keep the status quo in line. I'm a debater. I could debate about certain topics. I'm not going to. I'm not going to interject any of my political leanings, or I try my best not to in these videos. But yeah, that 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. That is the house of your worldview expanded through study or travel. You could be reassessing how you feel about migrants or refugees or immigrants. You could be reassessing how you feel about your 401k. You could be reassessing, because we've been having some really strong markets since Donald Trump took the presidency. You may be really enjoying your stock market portfolio. If that's the case, I'm happy for you. But long distance trips, adventures, questing, the study of foreign languages, religion, philosophy, astrology. It may be that you found this channel and you have resonated on more than one occasion with the videos that I am providing, and you want to learn more about this stuff. I studied, and I say studied, I followed astrology closely for a year before I put any real weight into it. I was intrigued by it. It seemed like there were a lot of things that were it's like they were throwing red flags before something would happen. The astrology would throw a red flag to get my attention, and sure enough, something would happen. So I observed it like a scientist, I guess, and once I saw that there was something to it, then I started putting actual time into learning it, because I've had enough surprises in my world. I don't like surprises, so if I can get a heads up from the universe to help me grow as an individual and also help to jump over the puddles in life that may be coming my way, or navigate them the best way that I can, or maybe put on my rain boots so if I know that my feet might get wet, you know what I mean? That's how I started doing that. It may be that you are wanting to, you've been through some stuff and astrology is speaking to you now. And I do believe wholeheartedly that astrology speaks to you. It's one of those things that it's like a foreign language, and it can be very confusing, and I do my best to break it down for people to understand. And but once you learn the language, it's difficult not to see the world through that language. So, 9th house energy, a lot of 9th house energy. The synchronicity was very strong with the total. So, you may be weighing out some things in that 9th house. You may be reflecting on things. I pulled for you from the Crystal Mandala Oracle deck the number 11 Archangel Gabriel and Turquoise card. This is the Safe to be Seen card, and it is the Crystal Angels 444 vibratory message. So, the Crystal Angel 444 message basically means the angels have your back. It is a vibratory energy of stability and earthly reality, and building strong foundations for higher spiritual growth. The mantra you can use with this is to have faith and to let it manifest. Understand that you are safe and it will be all right. And I told you I might get a little emotional during these oracle cards. This is probably where it's going to start. So forgive me if I get a little teary, but I am a Scorpio rising, and this oracle card hits very close to home for me. It reads, "You are protected by divine grace. It is safe to open up and to share your messages with others. The light in you is stronger than fear, and now is the time for you to shine brilliant and bright." And whenever I read that passage, I thought, I instantly heard the song "Shine Bright Like a Diamond" by Rihanna. So that may bring some joy to you. I don't know. But in your world and in your own way, you are a light bearer, Scorpio, and you bring the truth. You know what you know, and you need to honor that sacred knowledge by sharing yourself with those who need it the most. You know your own truth, and you know without knowing how you know. You've survived with the odds stacked against you for a reason. Remember, as you serve in love, love will serve you too. Remember that it is safe for you to be seen for who and what you are. This is the number 11 card of this deck, and the 11 is synchronistic because you are experiencing the full moon in Virgo in your 11th house. And I have survived the odds. I survived with many odds stacked against me, and somebody standing at the very top of my mountain holding a daggum water hose, making it the muddiest climb ever. But I've survived so I can help y'all. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. The second card that I pull for you is from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and this is the number 4 card. It is Against the Grain. The 4 speaks to that 4th house on the astrological wheel, which deals with your home and family, or your roots and foundations. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be, and family is who you share that home with. That can be your parents, your spouse, your partner, your children, your fur babies, house guests, housemates, or roommates. Roots and foundations can be internal or external. Internally, foundation would be like your bones, your teeth. And your roots would be like your tightly held beliefs. Outside, externally, would be roots of a tree possibly busting up your plumbing. Or the foundation of your home. And that can include the internal foundation, the studs, and the plumbing. You aren't having any 4th house astrological energy, but that doesn't mean that it isn't playing out for you in some way or in some other area of your chart that is highlighted throughout the 4th house. For me, my trauma came in the issue of the 4th house. Many of my traumas have come through the 4th house. I was asleep in the middle of the night and my house was on fire. I was asleep for 9 minutes and I should not have survived. I ran out of that house. I ran back inside to get pants and keys, and I ran back out. I should not be here. And that's from the opinion of 2 different fire marshals. But I survived. And I learned from it. And I'm here now sharing with you. This card, go against the grain. It indicates that you want love to trump power. You are a radical dreamer and a true sacred rebel. You bring light of a more positive future into this world. You live in the depths of the creative and most sensitive waters. So surrender to those sacred waters of the ocean or the river or the lake or even your bathtub. You can make a ritual bath with Epsom salts and crystals if you so choose, and candles if you so choose. Me personally, I use all of that. But I'm a Scorpio rising, and water is very serious to me. Going against the grain is natural to you. So do it. Be it. But don't be a force of disrespectful chaos. Be a force of change, of loving change, of creative change, of bold change. You are meant to be exactly as you are. You are meant to be the black sheep, or the rainbow sheep, or the glittery sheep. You are asked to be the daring butterfly that calls to the caged and cocooned caterpillars of the world. Me personally, I want to go get in a bath right now just looking at this card. But I have a few more videos to shoot, and then I might take my ritual bath. How about that? Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. Sorry I got a little emotional during that reading. Touched my heart. It spoke to me personally. And I hope it spoke to you too. Please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself. And please save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through private battles in our world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. And I don't say this often, Scorpio, but because I am a part of your family, celestially, watch your back. That 7th house has got me worried. Take care of yourself. To thine own self be true. I will see you mid-month. But until then, namaste, and I love you.